journey through time that connects us to the sacred stories of faith, fight, and divine encounters from the pages of the Bible. As we traverse the Old and New Testaments, we will uncover not just the lives of our ancestors, but the profound impact their stories have on billions worldwide. Welcome to another episode of A Biblical Odyssey. In the previous episode, we explored the creation of Adam and Eve, a pivotal moment that marked the beginning of humanity. God placed them in the splendid Garden of Eden, where they had everything they could possibly need. However, after eating from the tree of forbidden fruit, they disobeyed God, resulting in their expulsion from paradise. Outside the garden, Adam and Eve faced a stark new reality. God informed Adam that he would need to toil the land for his sustenance, while Eve would bear the significant burden of childbirth pain. Thus, they began a life characterized by hardship. Yet, in the midst of their struggles, they formed a family and had children who eventually spread across the earth. Today, we will delve into the story of their firstborn sons, Cain and Abel. The baby Abel was the second son of Adam and Eve, born after his brother Cain. The two brothers grew up side by side, sharing their childhood and experiences. As they matured, their paths diverged. Cain, inspired by their father, embraced the life of a farmer, tending to the fertile land, while Abel became a shepherd, nurturing and caring for his flock. The sin of Adam and Eve led to humanity's separation from direct communion with God. In response to this loss, both brothers sought to bridge that gap through offerings. This practice allowed them to express gratitude and restore their connection with the divine. However, a sense of rivalry began to brew between the two. In a pivotal moment, Cain offered modest roots from his harvest, which God did not accept. In contrast, Abel offered the finest of his flock, the best of his animals, along with its rich fat. His offering was received with favor. This discrepancy marked the beginning of deeper tensions between the brothers. God questioned Cain about the turmoil within him, asking, "Why are you angry, and why has your face fallen?" Despite this divine warning, Cain failed to heed the counsel offered. God further cautioned him, saying, "If you do good, will you not be accepted? But if you do not do good, sin is crouching at your door. It desires to have you, but you must master it." Ignoring God's words, Cain invited Abel to join him in the fields under the pretense of wanting to talk. Abel, unsuspecting of the malice brewing in his brother's heart, accepted the invitation. However, in that desolate place, Cain's suppressed anger erupted. In a tragic and deliberate act of violence, he took his brother's life, marking a point of no return in their fractured relationship. The Bible does not specify the method by which Cain committed his grave sin, but it emphasizes the seriousness of the act, marking it as the first instance of murder recorded in Scripture. After the deed was done, God confronted Cain with a piercing question. "Where is your brother Abel?" Cain's response was a defiant denial. "I do not know. Am I my brother's keeper?" In reply, God solemnly declared, "What have you done? The voice of your brother's blood cries out to me from the ground." This exchange highlights Cain's attempt to evade responsibility and the profound consequences of his actions. The Lord confronted him and, as punishment, cursed him to be a wanderer on the earth, in perpetual exile. Cain expressed fear that others would harm him, but God placed a mark on him to protect him. This mark ensured that anyone who harmed Cain would suffer greatly. After being driven away, he settled in the land of Nod, east of Eden. The Bible mentions that Cain married and had children, although specific details about his family life are sparse. He had a son named Enoch, and it is implied that he established a city named after his son. The accounts of Cain's later life reflect his attempts to build a new life after his sin, but the focus remains primarily on the consequences of his actions. Don't forget to like and share with your friends so you will be helping the channel. And don't even think about missing the 4th episode of A Biblical Odyssey, Enoch and the Giants. See you there.